Today, I went to the Goodwill outlet and got 56 items that I'm going to share with you on today's thrift haul. All of these items are going to get listed and hopefully sold on sites like eBay and Poshmark. During today's thrift haul, I will show you the items, talk about why I picked them up, and about what I think the item will sell for. Today was actually, I wouldn't say like a slow day at the bins because they were rotating a lot of things, but I wasn't finding as much as I normally would when I go to the Goodwill bins, but we still got 56 items. So today is going to be a good mix of style base, bolos, high sell-through rates, and factor stacking pieces. All right, so the first one I got, I've actually been wanting to try this brand. One of the regular thrift stores that I go to actually had a mass donation of this particular brand, and I really wanted to get them, but I couldn't justify it with the comps and the cost at the thrift store. But now that I found it at the bins, I am excited to try it and see. It is a log and look brand called Focus. This says Focus Casual Light. This is a size large. It is a very thick waffle knit thermal artsy log and look top, very minimalist. I've been wanting to try this brand out because it does feel very high quality and just see how it does. So the bins is a great place to do that. Next up, I'm always getting Abercrombie & Fitch bins Y2K stuff at the bins. This is a pair of sweatpants, and Abercrombie & Fitch, specifically men's sweatpants, perform really, really well. It has the thick drawstring here and a little back pocket. I'll probably only ask about $25 for these just because there's no major spell out or anything, but I did want to get that. I am probably going to put on a Posh live sale. We are currently trying out Posh live sales. This is Madewell. If it doesn't sell on the Posh live show, we'll go ahead and list it. Madewell I am very picky with, but during fall and winter, I really like picking their sweaters. This is a little bobble sweater, and the material tag and style number is missing, but it just feels like a very thick cotton sweater, perfect for the season. If I were doing like a buy it now listing, I would probably list that at $25 just due to the size. This is something I sourced kind of ahead of season because it is more of a holiday item. This is Land's End, not a brand I would memorize, but the style I would. And this is a men's Fair Isle / Nordic sweater with reindeer, so very holiday inspired. It also has some cable knit details. It is men. It is a thick, heavy one, and it goes all the way around. I absolutely love picking up stuff like this, especially in the men's department at the bins, because it generally brings about 35 to 40 regardless of brand for the more bread and butter brands like that. So that's probably what I'll list that one for. Next up, we've really been focused on picking up plus sizes at the bins just because cost of goods are so low and we do pretty well with it. This isn't a brand that I would memorize, but this is a 3X holiday inspired top. I've mentioned before, but 3X is one of my best selling sizes. This one is very like fall Thanksgiving inspired. We'll probably list that for about 20 to 25 because it is not a well-known brand. I found this exact top the last time I was at the bins, just in a different color. And I'm just kind of experimenting with this brand. I saw some comps going very high for this. It was Rowan. However, when I did try to search this, a bunch of other stuff was coming up. So I had a really hard time trying to figure out sell-through rate. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on this brand, but it does have some indicators of quality. This one actually appears to have a spot. So we are going to wash that out. Looks like a little oil spot. Indicators of quality besides the way that it feels and the tacked on plain tag is it's made in USA and it is 100% cotton. They also have the size here in the inner tag as well. Like I said, all indicators of a potentially a good quality brand and very minimalist piece. So I'll get that oil spot out of that one. And I think I was going to list that for about 35 to 40. This is another one we're testing out. We only saw one available listing and one sold comp for this brand. But again, the indicators of quality were there. So I wanted to test it out, and scarf season is approaching. This is made in India. It is dry clean only. It is a cotton wool blend, and it is an extremely artsy scarf. I just did a deep dive on scarves. Actually, I'm still in the middle of that deep dive, but I have a lot of screenshots on my phone where I was trying to figure out indicators of quality and brands to look for in scarves, and this definitely fit the bill for that. Even though there was only 1-in-1 on the available and the solds. I wanted to test this out, and it's a very cool, artsy, multicolor scarf. I think we're gonna list that for about 35 to 40, but I have to do some more research. Next up, this is another style base. This is just Old Navy in a smaller size. However, it is a Y2K style tank top. It does not have the baby doll neckline, but it does have the Henley and then the crochet trim. Plus it's a Henley. So I wanted to grab this one. We're only going to list this for about 20 just because it doesn't have the baby doll, but still a good bolo adjacent to pick up. Next up, this is another plus size, more of a factor stacking, size 2X. This is a really nice green, black, perfect for the season, very trendy color top. Probably going to use the keyword fairy with this one just because of the colors. Plus it's got a metallic threading throughout, which is a nice detail, and we'll probably list that for 20 to 25. This was one of my best finds, and I debated once I actually looked at this thing because one of my friends at the bins was like, oh, you grabbed Patagonia. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I was still holding on to it and I hadn't actually looked yet. I looked down, I was like, oh my gosh, that is Patagonia. I just grabbed it because it looked like a thick wool thing. And so then I saw this, which looks like a vintage Patagonia tag. And then I saw this, which I was like, is that a fake Patagonia patch? But it's not. I think this is a real vintage Patagonia, which if you didn't know, some of the vintage Patagonia pieces, depending on what they are, can go for way more than the modern ones just because obviously they don't make them anymore. I need to really look into this one, but I do feel like I have a gem here and it is in excellent condition. This is a polyester wool blend. I love the retro look and the patch is really cool. I'll have to report back on that, but I've got a feeling that is a really good one, probably one of our highest pickups. All right, next up, we actually found two things in this brand, and this is a brand that performs well every single year in fall and winter for me. I usually get it regardless of comps because it is a pricey brand retail wise. Sometimes the sell-through rate isn't there and I just undercut the market a little bit, but it tends to be a very good seller for me just in general, which is Barefoot Dreams. This is the Cozy Chic, and it's a size large, extra large, very thick, interesting style sweater. Kind of has like a dolman sleeve, almost like a cocoon style sweater. I haven't looked up this particular style. I've never found one like this before, but I'm absolutely getting Barefoot Dreams at the bins, and it's definitely a brand that I would start looking for fall and winter. And here's that other Barefoot Dreams. This one is the Cozy Chic Light in a size medium. This one is also in really excellent condition, longer length, kind of an oatmeal color to it, which is very trendy. Like I said, Barefoot Dreams, very consistent seller. I can usually get 35 to 40 for it, but I will double check comps on those particular styles, colors, and sizes and hope for maybe more. We found another vintage Abercrombie men's piece. This one is a lot older. Here is the older label. This is a men's size extra large, made in USA. Very thick ribbed sweater. This one's really cool. This one does have a little patch. So whenever we are taking the photo for this, I am going to make sure to show that patch because the more spell out you have on an Abercrombie & Fitch vintage piece, the better as far as comp, sell-through rate, and ASP goes. I'm just making a guess on this. I need to actually look this up, but I'm guessing 35 to 40 on that. All right, this next one is a style-based pickup. I got this because it's a very cottagecore vintage style, heavily floral embroidered vest, and it also has a contrast back. This could go a million different ways aesthetic-wise, but cottagecore is definitely how I am going to market this one, and I'll hope for about 25. One bag down, two more to go. All right, we found this unbranded, just says made in Italy, tunic length, pretty sure silk tunic top with this beautiful lace contrast hem. Asymmetric details right now are everything. A lot of style aesthetics are looking for this asymmetrical hem. I could see this going very fairy grunge, which is the main reason I got it, even though it did not have a brand label. We'll probably list this for 25 bucks unless I figure out that this is actually a brand name, and then I'll do my comps based on that. At least 25 bucks for the style-based pickup. This is kind of a bright pop of color. Normally, I wouldn't get this bright of color unless it were a bolo brand because we're moving into fall and winter, which is the time where typically darker colors sell. However, I have sold this exact style dress so many times in so many different lower end brands, and it consistently sells for us. So I wanted to get it again. This one is Old Navy. It's a size large. And it is like this ballerina style dress. I'm telling you, like every Target brand made this, Old Navy made this summer, and it consistently sold very well for me. This one is a beautiful bright pink. I'll use keywords like ballet core and things like that, hoping to sell this. I'll probably list it a little bit lower just because the color is super bright going out of season. I'll probably just list it at 25. But previously I was selling these dresses pre-owned for $30 to $40. Insane. All right, here is another plus size top. This is Quaker Factory. For those of you that have been waiting for me to say it the right way, Quaker Factory. Although I will say when I was talking to my employees came with me to the bins today, I still said it the wrong way. And I was like, gosh darn it. Anyways, Quaker, because there's a duck there, Factory 3X thermal top. Quaker Factory does pretty well for me in plus sizes. And this has a little apple orchard type thing. So very good for fall. We'll probably list that for $25. One of my employees found this one as well. This was a really nice surprise. Oh man, this thing is a puzzle piece. You know those pieces where you can't figure out which way is up and down? This is definitely one of those. I actually found two in the last thrift haul that you guys will have seen of this brand. So I was really surprised we found it again, but it is Prairie Underground. Now this brand used to be a ginormous bolo. It used to have a really high sell-through rate. It does not have the highest sell-through rate anymore. However, it is still a good pickup in my opinion, especially at the bins. I would think that this would go for at least $40. This is a size large, and this is a very interesting top sweater kind of thing because this is a more substantial, thick, heavy piece. I'm hoping I can get maybe more than that, but I would say at least 40 on this. Prairie Underground is a very login look brand, so we'll probably also use that keyword. You guys know we were looking for the Y2K style hoodies at the bins. I've actually become known for looking for those things. One of my friends at the bins noticed a vintage Abercrombie hoodie being thrown back. She was like, Kaylee! I ran over to get it. I was so excited. Unfortunately, it had a huge hole in the back. I guess that's just what we're becoming known for here on this channel are the Jesse Pinkman hoodies. So this one is kind of adjacent. This isn't normally a brand I get, which is Hollister, but this is one of those thick Y2K style hoodies with a little graphic from Hollister men's. This one, because it's not super graphic-y and it's not one of the bolo brands, I'm definitely going to price lower. I'll probably price this between $25 and $35, but still a great pickup at the bins. I have had a lot of luck selling some vintage Y2K Hollister stuff. All right, next up, Reformation. I say yes to Reformation every single time, even if it's an item going out of season, because this brand just really carries its value. I'm gonna attempt to tie these sleeves real quick so I can show you. All right, we got it. This is a little black tank top with tie sleeves. Like I said, this is really going out of season because it's a tank top. However, it's Reformation. I'm going to get it every time, especially at the bins. Reformation is a brand that you want to know. They make very trendy pieces. People shop their website a lot. And usually their style name is on the label. This one does not say it, but we do have the size down here. Remember I said at the beginning of this video with another piece, I think it was the Rowan piece, whenever a size is on the inner side label near the material tag, sometimes that can be an indicator of a quality brand. Reformation does the same thing. At least 25 on this, if not more, just because it's Reformation. All right, this is a factor stacking piece and style based. This is a Talbot's. We only got it because it was 100% silk. It is a size 12, which is a decent size. It is a long length skirt, and it has some very nice floral, very on-trend colors for the season. I think we'll probably list this one for about 30. This is just another plus size pickup. This is just Messini. I would not memorize that brand. But at the bins, we're definitely going to get this. It's a 2X factor stacked with a bunch of floral details. We'll probably list that 20 to 25, just really great padding sales. Another plus size piece, this is Cato. You guys would be shocked at the brands that we're selling just because they are plus size that you would have never thought you would have been able to sell. It has really opened my eyes up to the fact that people are really looking for style and certain factors versus brands most of the time, especially in plus size clothing. This one's Cato. This is a size 18-20W, so plus size. I normally don't pick up Cato, however, this one had a lot of factors that people are looking for. The color, the print, it's got the asymmetric shark bite hem. I'll actually probably list this one for 25 and hope that sending out best offer, it'll sell somewhere between 20 and 25, which is just insane for Cato, but I'm telling you, we've been doing it and I love selling plus size stuff because it is so easy to find. I really think it is a market that not many people have tapped into, but now you can because you know about it. All right, next up we have another Madewell piece. I do, like I said, enjoy picking up Madewell sweaters during this time of the year. Their more substantial pieces do well. This is a Madewell brown longer length cardigan, size small. Especially their cardigans I find perform very well. It also has button up and brown is a very trendy color right now. One of my friends at the bins gave this to me. If you guys are watching, I have several friends at the bins, but a lot of them bring me stuff to sell and I really appreciate you guys doing that. I often feel bad because I don't usually have anything in return to give. Some are viewers, some are just people I've met, offer things to me all the time that they just don't want to get themselves for whatever reason. And I super appreciate it. So this was one of those pieces. It definitely pays to have friends at the bins. This is the brand Scala. They're well known for their beaded pieces. I think the last time I was at the bins, I think I even included it in a thrift haul. So the last Goodwill outlet haul that you see, I'm pretty sure I show this exact brand, but they're known for their beading. This is a women's size 6, gorgeous, very Y2K style dress. I normally do not pick up stuff like this, but it's very on trend. It is fully beaded. I can use the keywords homecoming, fairy, Y2K, and baby doll, but this little sash bow situation right here is what really sold it for me. That little intricate detail I think just made it so on trend. Plus, it is new tags, so insane. I also like the little strappy details here. I'm gonna put this in its own bag so we don't snag anything. I'm gonna get that one listed quickly. I think a lot of people are done with homecoming, but such a gorgeous piece at the bins. I feel like I could get maybe close to $100. I might price lower than that just because we're coming out of the homecoming season. But yeah, I think I could get at least $100 for that, maybe slightly lower if I want to move it quicker. Next up, this is CJ Banks. This is a brand I like getting in plus sizes if factor stacking is there. In this case, it is a size 3X, great size. You guys can see there's multiple factors involved. We'll list that for 20 to 25. Another plus size piece, this is Catherine's. This is a 3X, more factor stacking, 20 to 25. This one I found in a picked over bin, just wadded up. Nobody wanted it. No brand tag, you can see it was ripped off, but it is a men's Lululemon. I think this might be the metal vent shirt. Actually, is this women's? I don't know, I can't tell if it's men's or women's. Size 16, that's actually women's. So I need to go back on our sheet because I thought this was men's, but either way, great pickup. I will never say no to Lululemon at the bins. The brand could tank in like 10 years if, you know, I'm still going to the bins in 10 years, but as of right now, I'm going to continue picking it up. Another plus size factor stacking piece. This is just Ava and Viv, size 2X. This one is new with tags, and you can see it has multiple factor stacking, probably 25. Here is another Lululemon piece that one of my girls found. It is a jacket. Lululemon has all of the little Lululemon details. Nice herringbone print as well. I'm not sure how much that is going to go for, but I'm guessing 35 to 40. There was a lot of Victoria's Secret at the bins. I don't get a lot of Victoria's Secret. Their vintage stuff does perform well for me. And then sets. This is a velvety set, kind of like a sleepwear kind of set. I'm actually going to try this on a Posh live show. I've done some Victoria's Secret sets on Whatnot and they got bid up quite high. So I'm going to test that out on a Posh live show. This is Athleta, newer label, size large. I do like selling Athleta, like sweatshirts, cardigans, things like that, especially their newer styles, which I believe this one is. If you're ever questioning it, you can always go to the inside tag here. This one actually says it's a Coaster Luxe sweatshirt, which has performed well for me in the past. And then underneath, if it's got the style name on the tag, it's more than likely a newer style. If it's not, you can always get your style number here and also the dating. So this was spring 2022, so it's only a couple of years old. And I've sold this Coaster sweatshirt quite a few times. I will check comps, especially with it being a larger size, at least 25 for that. Let's pivot for a second. I have some little knickknacks here and then we'll dive back into the rest of the clothing. I recently did a deep dive on men's hats, so I've really been into looking for the hats. This one just spoke to me at the bins just because of the striking color. It looked very vintage and retro, and this is a vintage one. I saw this exact hat went for, it was around 25 bucks. So my suspicions were correct. Also made in USA. It just says Days of Thunder. Ooh, I just noticed there's a little bit of discoloration here, so I'm gonna see if I can get that out, but should be about a $25 flip. Another hat, I didn't know anything about this brand, but I did a comp search on Noveski hat. I wanna say this is like a firearms brand, but it did have a good sell-through rate. I think I can list this for about 25 as well. I love selling hats. They're so small, they're easy to list, easy to photograph. Love hats. All right, this is another one of those situations that I find myself in often, which is the smallest item that I picked up, the most lightweight, ends up going for the most. Those are my favorite pickups of all time because you pay so little for them. They usually fall to the bottom of the bin so nobody snatches them up. I was at a new rotation of handbags, which is where all of the belts, the ties, the suspenders all get thrown in with the handbags, and everyone was going crazy. And I went over to a picked over section and saw this. Now, I am 99% sure this is authentic, but I am going to do some more research. I saw this tie and I was like, huh, that looks interesting. And I flip it over. It's a Gucci men's necktie. Very good indicators of it being authentic. I'm pretty positive that it is, but again, I'm going to double check. If this is real, I think I can sell this for around $100 to $150, which is awesome because I probably paid like 20 cents for this. I love it when the smallest item has the biggest reward. What do you guys find at your bins that is super small but goes for so much money? It is just one of my favorite things to find. All right. Along those same lines, I found in that bin, I have not comped these yet, so these could be like insane finds. This is called a Reich's London Shop belt. The reason I grabbed this was because it was real crocodile leather. Several belts I picked up and they do feel like high quality and good condition, so I wanted to grab them. Like I said, I need to do another comp on that. I just picked it up because it was crocodile leather. I also found a Vineyard Vines. I believe it is a men's belt. Vineyard Vines men's stuff and belts also do well for me. Size 36, made in USA. And it had the fabric whale logo, which was another indicator of quality to me with the leather ends. I need to look this up. This might not be as valuable as I thought, but I would say at least 15, 20 bucks for this. And last belt, this is a Bullock and Jones. I have quite a few of this brand. If I remember correctly, they don't have 100% sell-through rate, but the ones that are selling sell for quite a bit. So I will just price mine a little more competitively to get it to move. Made in Italy. This one also has like the crocodile leather. This might actually be crocodile leather. It doesn't say, but it does feel very high quality. So I will try to figure that out. Generally speaking, I've sold these for 25 to 40 before, depending on what it is. I love those little knickknacks. All right, back into the clothing. I have one more bag here. We found a men's cool outerwear piece. This feels like it has wool in it. I'm not sure what the exact style is, but we will get that figured out. But it is a really nice thick outerwear jacket, and cool outerwear performs very well for me, especially in the men's department. This is another plus size piece, Style & Co. size 3X. You can see lots of factor stacking here as well. I'll probably list that one for $25. One of my favorite things at the bins is looking at people's throwbacks, because that's where, to be honest with you, I find so many things so quickly. So it's one of my favorite places to go. Wherever everyone is sitting and they're throwing stuff back, I like to look at that because sometimes people don't know what they have. This is definitely an example of that. I'm thinking back to the last thrift haul and the last time I went to the bins, and there's so many of these brands in this thrift haul too. So Relwyn, especially a week later, men's extra, extra large polo. If you see this label Relwyn, I would definitely get it. Very high sell-through rate in men's, and depending on what you have, if it's a jacket, it goes for tons of money. This is a pre-owned polo. I'm probably going to list for around $40. The Relwyn polos do have a 100% sell-through rate. They usually go for about $35 to $40. I'm pricing mine at $40 because it is a larger size. This is another Madewell cardigan. Again, with the cardigans, longer length. This one also has wool in it, color block details. We have another plus size piece. This is J. Jill, size 1X, longer length tunic, 20 to 25. Another plus size piece. This is Maggie Barnes, size 2X. You can see a lot of different factor stacking on this one, 20 to 25. This one was missing its brand tag. However, my sourcer identified that it was actually Eileen Fisher just from the inside tag, which I thought was really cool. So we got it anyways. I do love Eileen Fisher. I generally try to get it only in plus sizes. However, I do like it in more substantial pieces, and definitely sweaters I would consider a substantial piece. So this is a nice pink V-neck cotton sweater. And so we'll just notate and make sure to show that inside tag that it is actually Eileen Fisher. I think we should be able to sell that for about $30. This is a brand I have never heard of. One of my girls found this. It's so funny because on the way up to the bins, we have quite a bit of time, and I always use it for training. We were looking up what to look for in sweaters and talking about it. One of the things I said to them was, if you see a sweater that says it's made in another country, like Ireland or sometimes Peru, those are definitely things that we need to look into because they're potential indicators of quality. So this is the brand called American Southside. She noticed that it was made out of alpaca and wool and then made in Peru, like we had talked about in the car. So she grabbed it, and then we did a comp later. Pretty good comps on some of these. So this is definitely one I'm going to keep my eye out for. I think comps are going to get even better when we move into winter. People aren't really buying super heavy materials right now. This is a more heavy material with the wool and alpaca, but it is a lobster novelty print sweater. So high quality. There are a lot of bolos in sweaters with lobster graphics on them. I immediately saw this. I was like, that has to be good. Made in Peru, lobster novelty print graphic, alpaca, wool. It's thick. It's in great condition. I think we're going to be able to list this for around $65 to $75. It was definitely one of the best finds and a brand I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for in the future. Next up, we have a pair of men's 501 Levi's. These are button fly, and they have a really nice distressing and colorway to them, which is the main reason that we got them. We'll probably list these for about $30 to $35. This is a Calvin Klein packable down size large vest. People are going to start buying a lot of down stuff here soon if they haven't already. So we want to be prepared. This is more bread and butter for us. However, it's like higher end bread and butter because it's down. These Calvin Klein performance packable jackets and vests perform well for me every single year. I can't say that's going to be true for this year necessarily, but I have some factors stacking on top of it to pull the right buyer through. Like, it's a larger size, it's asymmetrical, and in excellent condition. So I'm probably going to hope for about $30 for this. This was another cool piece. I recently sold a vintage LL Bean printed shirt like this, so that was already in my mind to pick up. Size large. This one is 100% cotton, made in USA. It is that thicker cotton. And the graphics are really cool. I don't know what I would call this. It's almost like an expedition print. There are people doing all kinds of things on this. I thought this was a really nice shirt. My gut wants to tell me about 40 to 50 for this, but maybe even higher. You can't even tell, but is like a purpley green, very vintage color scheme. And it is really cool. So I've got to look this one up a little more. Some LL Bean prints are actually rare and go for high prices. All right, next up, this is a Y2K piece. This is Access. And this has the baby doll style top, Henley. It also has some nice color and some sparkly details. I'm gonna use the keyword fairy, Y2K, and baby doll with this one, and I think it'll sell for about $25. This is another plus size pickup. This is Croft and Borrow, size 2X. You can see some factor stacking with this one, and I think this is on trend with the lacy trim and the darker florals. I'll probably price this one at $25. This was also in a picked over area, which is so interesting. It is a Free People sweater, size large. That means the sell-through rate is going to be much, much higher. Free People size large and up, definitely higher sell-through rate and ASP. This is a really long sweater. I don't know if it's a sweater like mini dress or just an oversized sweater. I want to say it's an oversized sweater, but great find at the bins, especially in a size large. I would guess 30 to 35 on that. All right, this brand is a bolo in plus sizes. It's Ralph Lauren. This is a size 2X, and it's also 100% linen. I know linen's going out of season, but in a Ralph Lauren plus size piece, it never goes out of style. So we're definitely picking that up. I need to do a comp on this, but I'm thinking I should be able to get about 30 for this. All right, this is a style-based pickup. This is the brand Shine Star. It is a larger size, extra large, and it is a very whimsy goth style midi dress. Lots of ruching details, mesh long sleeves, very trendy with the sheer mesh. Perfect pickup. I think we are going to get this listed quickly just because of Halloween coming up. Somebody might want to use this as a costume as well. So we're going to use the keywords whimsy goth, witchy, maybe a couple of other things. We'll hope that that'll sell for about $25. This is another style-based pickup. This is the brand Akira. I would not memorize that. This is a brown chocolatey velvet, very interesting dress. Has some boning details, interesting shapes to it. It's got some little pin tuck ruching in the back as well. I love the chocolatey brown velvet with the boning corset details. I thought this was perfect for the Halloween time. So again, we're going to get this one listed quickly, and we'll hope for 25 to 30. Another style-based pickup. This one is by the brand White Stag, size extra large. I love the Asian print to this. Nice purple, reds, and blacks. Very, very trendy. Y2K plus like oriental print definitely increases the value in most pieces. I've picked up stuff like this before. I'll probably list this for $25. Along the same lines, this is a Chico's Traveler slinky top. It's got the dark greens to it. I'm going to use Fairy Grunge with this one, 20 to 25. This was another style-based pickup. This is not a brand that I would memorize. It's Impulsive. This was an impulsive purchase. However, again, style-based, size extra large. This is really gorgeous with the sheer mesh detail. This is a little kimono jacket, flare sleeve. It's got greens, silvers, and black, and it is longer length kimono. So not typically a brand that we would get, but again, style-based right now in this season, I think this will do well. Probably gonna list that 25 to 30. All right, next up, we have a cashmere piece. This is by the brand Halogen. I don't get this brand very often, but I'm not passing up cashmere at the bins. This is a wool cashmere blend, super soft, and it is a novelty print sweater. It says Merci. I'm gonna have to look up exact comps on this because sometimes the novelty print ones can go for more, but any kind of cashmere sweater in great condition, I can expect at least 25 for. We are coming towards the end. Next up, we have a men's very thick Everlane shirt jacket. Everlane is a very expensive brand, and in the men's stuff, in a shacket, a more substantial piece, we definitely want to pick that up. I'm going to look up the exact style name for this and see how much we actually want to list it for, but I'm guessing $25 to $30. This is another style-based cottagecore vest. It's super patchworky detail, definitely cottagecore, also kind of grandma core with a contrast back. I love some of the buttons are heart shaped. I think that's a really nice touch. I'll probably list this for $25 to $30. And last piece is another vintage Y2K piece. This is actually by the brand Gap. It was really hard to tell. It's down here. This is a women's vintage Y2K tank top. Now, this is also not baby doll. However, it has that tattoo Asian inspired print to it. And it also has it on the back. So for both of those reasons, I wanted to get this. I'll probably only list this for $20 to $25. I'm going to do some more comp research on Gap Y2K tops and see if maybe this is a bigger bolo than I think. But regardless, I think I'll still be able to get $20 to $25. All right, and that is the end of today's thrift haul. I hope that you guys are enjoying all of these bins thrift hauls that we've been putting out. I love being able to show you guys a mix of bolos, styles, and factor stacking, and where we're taking some risks on things, and I'll let you know how those pay off. Hopefully you'll see them in a what sold video. That is it for today's video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.